Namaskar. This is a proclamation from the call to the One, to the councils of the wise. It was prepared for the Mahayagna, World Peace Mahayagna, and also there's another Mahayagna going on at the same time. There's a Confluence, so it was prepared in 2022, but really it is speaking to the leaders of all religions the globe over. I'm going to read it. This Mahayagna confluence is very important, and this message is for both Mahayagnas currently in session and also for any future Mahayagnas or conferences of the many and various religions. This message is for all of humanity, for all the religions, lineages, and spiritual paths, and their so-called leaders. Ritual prayers are very beautiful, and the song is heard. It is good to know that humanity remembers at least that much of the given wisdom sent to establish the way to pure being in the heart of all being. You cannot, however, become by prayers alone. Practice of and promotion of the spiritual ethics of the way is essential. This is the core of all truth. This is not optional. Become the prayer that you sing, or do not pretend that you belong to the ethereal choir. The cosmic creative plan gives all evolving souls free will to choose. This is the divine rule that creates and balances the very energies of the creation plan. The destiny of humanity is therefore up to humanity. While prayer is rejoiced in, no amount of it can change the hearts of humanity without truth in example by those who proclaim to be spiritual leaders and teachers. Humanity, especially the leaders of the soul of humanity, must honor the divine rule through showing the way to really realizing the unifying, universal truths of all the messages sent over all the ages for the guidance of the human soul's reunion with pure being. Non-interference outside of sending messengers and correctors as guidance is the very foundation of the flow of creation and the balance of light and dark that maintains the energies of the great Aum, the fountain of all being and creation's wellspring. The divine realm over the ages has sent all the guidance necessary, and all has been corrupted by desire for supremacy, greed, the delusion of permanence, and the magical thinking that serves that delusion. No religion on the planet is exempt from these faults. This corruption runs very deep. Sexual abuse, lust, charging the wealthy for secret teachings, indulging the material while pretending to magical and occult powers. No religion or spiritual way has proved itself willing to follow the purity of truth of the path to oneness with the Creator being. and all participate in one way or another in these sins that carry humanity further into the delusion of egoic destruction. Look around. See what a world this has created for humanity. All of you, because you are the ones aiding and abetting the creation of this misery. Illusions and playing pretend is not going to work. Humanity is at the cusp. It is up to humanity to follow the call and finally begin to evolve to spiritual oneness and inner peace. This is a call to all souls. Wake up and stand up before the earth is destroyed. Look into the eyes of the children. It is their future that is being squandered. The reality is clear. Either the congregate human soul, most of whom profess to believe in divine consciousness in one form or another, will awaken and choose to stand as one in the light of the oneness of all consciousness, or the human soul will continue to divide what is indivisible and deny what is real, drowning in the darkness of its own making. The choice is, and has always been, up to humanity to determine the direction they take, towards the light and truth realization, or deeper into the darkness of material despair. So far, most of the messengers during their sojourn on earth have been persecuted and or killed, and it is always a sacrificial choice on this planet to speak what is real. So be it. This is not a popularity contest, and the truth is not for sale, nor is it negotiable. The divine, enlightened, eternal circle has sent helpers in this critical cosmic juncture in the evolution of the soul of humanity, individual and congregate. It is time for those helpers to come together in a real circle, a conference of light. It is up to humanity, all of humanity, to wake up and start practicing the real work of inner peace. What is being taught in far too many halls of the divine is simply lies and magical thinking that reinforces the bondage of souls to the delusion of desire and the narcotic of materialism. The spiritual path is the path to freedom, not to further bondage to lies that enslave goodness, rather than setting it free on its way to rising. I've tried to communicate through asking simple questions. No one comes to challenge the truth. Can you sweep it under the rug of lies? Will that change the destiny of the human soul? Ask yourselves the question, because in the end, it's up to you. I'm not interested in all the layers upon layers of ritual and magic that prevents the real work of peace on earth from happening. In this time, we must get real. We are one. Let us do the work to make it be so. If you believe this message, please pass it on. I bow to you all, and I really appreciate the fact that you're praying for peace, but let's start working for peace. And in India, there's a lot of work to be done right there at home before you can look anywhere else. Start healing the ancient divide that you have between you and the Islamic members of your communities. Stop looking at other people as being devils. The communal violence has to stop. The pollution has to stop. You're destroying the planet. So, peace begins at home. And it's a lot more than sitting around and praying for it. We have to do the work. If I were you, I'd send a delegation over there to New Delhi to really look at what's going on with the sacred Yamuna, I can't even say it now, Yamuna River. The scientific studies are that all the way south from New Delhi, the whole river basin is being poisoned from the Ganga all the way over to all of those other little rivers. There's a whole bunch of little rivers that run through there. And it's being further polluted. It's not like, oh, well, it stops being polluted in New Delhi. No, it doesn't. Anyway, there's a lot of work to be done right there in India. So if you really believe in peace, then start really building bridges and working for peace. Otherwise, your prayers mean very little. They're like dust in the wind unless you do the work. And killing people in the name of J. Ram Das, don't kill people in the name of God. If you've got hatred in your heart, that's your hatred. And it's your spiritual problem to resolve it. Because you can never be truly an enlightened soul as long as you hate. Hate is the opposite of the divine in you. Anyway, speech is done. I will be posting the link to this, and hopefully somebody will care enough to watch it. And I'll be editing the speech has been edited just a little bit, just in terms of punctuation and spelling and stuff like that, so I'll be reposting it on the page. And anyway, it's a great honor to speak to you, and I hope that your hearts are open and your ears hear. Thank you all. Namaskar.